In this video, I'm going to show you how to combine multiple parts into one solid body in SolidWorks. A really handy workflow when you need to merge geometry quickly or create a new part using existing designs. I'll be using the insert part command to bring in the existing geometry, the move and copy bodies tool to align them, and then other standard tools such as extrude, cut, and delete face to clean up the geometry to match the part that we are recreating. This approach is fast, simple, and great for when you need a new variant of something you've already created or a component without building everything from scratch. Let's jump straight in. So this is a combination of the part we just created plus one of these. So we have this, and we have this. Now we want to create this, which is pretty much that element on the end combined with this one here for these two, okay? So how to do this in SolidWorks is, firstly, I'm going to open this one, and I'm going to open this other one here. We can see it hiding away. This is a Technique bush. And what we're going to do is the insert part method, right? So I'm going to find the part here, which is this, and I'm going to create a new part file and give it that name. So I'm going to save as, just saving the blank file, just so I've got one open and ready. Make sure I put it in the right folder. Okay. And now I'm going to insert first part that I want, which is this one. Now I'm going to do that upright. I'm going to uncheck most of these options. I'm just going to include solid bodies. I'm going to press OK. That's inserted that part. And now I'm going to insert part again, find the bush. Now I'll do the same thing. And what we can see is that it's going to drop it at the origin. All right, so if I press OK, it's dropping this part wherever its origin is, right, which doesn't work perfectly for us in this example. If I edit this in context, I go to this part file, I can see that it was extruded off the front plane, so it's not mid-plane. Should we change it? That's one way of addressing it. I wonder what would happen if I did just change this one to mid-plane. It kind of ruins a few things. Now let me reload so I don't break it. All right. Now, we don't have to edit the position of the original, all right? We can leave that as, let's say it has to stay where it is. Now, in this version, we want it to match, all right? We want this one, which has a width of 7.2 millimeters, and this one, which has a width of 8 millimeters, to have the same width. Now, let me check some measurements. This should be, it is bigger. So here, this sort of section, it's 7.3. 7.2 in the other one. What's this one here? 7.4 with a sticker. 7.4, 7.3, 7.4. But at the end with the bush, Technique bush, is bigger. 7.9, basically 8. So it is thicker there. And you can, if you look very closely, you can see that step. That step is 0.4 of a millimeter on both sides. So the dimensions are right. Let's assume they're right. I'm going to move this one. So there's a few ways of moving it. Now I can do it manually, or I can do it when the part is inserted. In this example, because this part is 8 millimeters and this is 7.2, I want this face to be 0.4 mil offset from this face. So I'm going to edit this feature. I'm going to locate with move copy feature and press OK. And I'm going to add a constraint. And this is where you can add a mate in a part file. So I'm going to select this face and put a distance mate in 0.4 and flip the dimension, and it's going to reposition it for me, offset from that face. I press add and OK. Now you can't see a feature in the feature tree. It is underneath this drop down, under the move body copy feature, and you can see there the distance mate. And that mate, even though it's a part file, that is editable, so I can change that distance at any time, like I would any other feature. Very handy. Okay, so now that we have that feature inside this part file, we have to edit this to get it to work together. All right, so what are we going to do? Well, first step, we're going to cut, and we're going to cut away from this top face. I'm going to convert entities, and I'm going to do a new sketch, which goes from the middle of that up both ways, trim everything else, and I'm going to do an extruded cut that goes through all, and I'm going to select just this body. All right, so I've trimmed away the bit that I don't need. Now I exit isolate, and then we can see what we're left with. All right. So now I get to join these two up. Now, one thing I've just noticed in this here, you can see it's got the slot detail on the top, or you can see in my model, my slot is on the side. So I also have to rotate the part. Now, again, there is a way to rotate it when you insert the part here, but there is also a way to add a rotate separately later as another feature, and that is with the Move Copy Body tool. So insert, features, Move Copy. It's here. I have it hotkey to Alt M. Use it all the time. I'm going to select the body. And this time, instead of a mate, I'm going to press Translate Rotate, and I'm going to rotate this one. And I could show temporary axes. See this line here, that is a temporary axis, right? So that's this button here. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and press OK. Now the slot's on top. Again, very handy tool for hacking a multi-body part. Okay, now we can finish the rest of this. So what we are going to do, we can see that this has a wall thickness of 1.4, which is thicker than this section. So here, if I measure, that bit there is only 1. So we're going to have to change that. So we're going to tweak a few things. First, I'm going to delete face on the radiuses that are inside there. Then I'm going to, on this face, do a sketch. And on this sketch, even though this has a diameter of 7.4, on the actual part, I want it to be 7.8, which is the length of this one. So I'm going to draw a straight line out here, do my semicircle and join it up. I'm going to put the center point on the origin where it should be, make this one horizontal, and I'm also going to just convert this edge and then extrude it. I'm going to extrude it 1.4 millimeters to the inside. All right, now we might do some adjustments after this. We are going to merge bodies, and now we can see some things that we need to change. Now, first thing, I need to get rid of this. So I'm actually going to change the sketch contour that I selected here, just delete it and make that this inside face, right? So it's going to fill the whole thing, all right? It's actually filling up a bit of the slot. That's fine. So I also want to fill in this gap here. So actually I'm going to edit this sketch again, but instead of having the line finish on those points, I'm actually going to select that edge, select this line and make them collinear, and that brings it all the way out. And then drop this one back so it is coincident. Right now it's going to fill in that section for me as well. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on the other face. Now let's see if we can do it with a mirror. We do have our front plane here. So if I select it too and press OK, we get that nice filled in surface that's looking pretty good. Our slot's kind of not working so much anymore, our hole, but we can fix that. I do want to change the shape that we can see here, because in this example, we don't have the cutout. So I'm going to use the delete face tool to remove these faces. It just makes it a round, and that's going to match the other side. So those two are now symmetrical. What else do we need to do? We do need to fill in, which means this part here, we need to move that to this face. So I'm going to use the Move Face tool, and I'm going to offset it. And let me just do a section view so I can show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to edit this Move Face feature, and I'm going to update that or increase it until it is moved up to this face here. Now it's going to stop there, right? So even if I increase the number, you can see it's stopping because it's hit that other face. That's good for me. All right, it's filled in that gap. Anything else we need to tweak? Let's just check the thickness. It's 5.64. This is 2.8, 5.6. That's pretty good. Let's just make these slots balanced. So I'm going to delete face on the top and the bottom to remove those sections. And then I'll see if we can do a full round filler. So I'm going to select face, face, face. Yeah. And then I can get that nice round slot in there, which, you know, it's very, very close to what I can see here anyway. Like, it's really small, but it does look like a round slot that's in there. Now, we do have to do that 4 times, but that's not too bad. Now, a quick tip. So the selection box is like this. When I click my first selection, I can right mouse button to get to the next tab. So you can do those selections very quickly if you're using that process, and then the enter key is going to repeat the last command. So you can go through and do those in a matter of seconds. Right, so I had noticed a couple of details missing. Just to finish off this part, I just want to close that out here. So that was on this rear face, where these sort of 4 sections should actually be merged up with this face here, like they are on this side, which might take me a little while, is to just do a sketch on this face here, convert these edges, convert this edge, do a circular sketch pattern of those 4, get them aligned, make sure that they're all patterned around the center there, and then do an extrude down by selecting those contours. So I can just change that direction, go up to next. They're just going to go down and merge. All right, now that edge is flush. And then to make it the same as this, I'm just going to add on that 0.2 mil radius. There is a very tiny difference between them. I don't think I can use any of those fillets, no, which is the way the fillets were made. But look, I'm not too concerned with how that looks here. No one's really going to pick that up. But that there is the finished part. So we can see now how that looks in our assembly. So that's down the bottom here. That detail's all done. That looks now much more like the part we're recreating. So thanks for watching the tutorial all the way to the end. A couple of points to keep in mind if you're going to use the insert part feature tool. Really, you always need to consider if those parts are going to change. So if those parts that you're inserting are actually going to change dramatically, while you're creating the new version, you need to keep that in mind. Those changes can have really, really dramatic impacts on the new geometry you're building. So if you're trying to make some parts that are going to be really stable, they're going to be used long term in important elements of your design, it's probably not the best way to go. But if it's something you're just trying to do quickly, right, and it's a pretty low risk, then it's a very viable way of creating new geometry using existing geometry. And from that point of view, it's a really handy tool to have up your sleeve. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please subscribe for more and look to join me for any upcoming SolidWorks live streams where I am finishing off the motorcycle here through the assembly and a few other tips and tricks along the way. See you in the next one.